Good day, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. It's Monday. Oh, that was neat. It was Monday. Ow. And Fernando was not here today. He had to do some personal stuff. There we go. So, we have a special guest coming in tonight on the show. Gentleman by the name... Start over. Gentleman by the name of Dan Bauman works at Titan Motoring in Tennessee. He's going to be our guest tonight. He is a top-notch salesman. He's a winner of the Salesman of the Year award. He's really smart guy. It's the easiest way to say it. Anyways, 12 volt all the way through. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to have him on. I love talking to him when we're together. So having him on the show ought to be pretty fun time. So tonight, make sure to tune in. I always love it when I get to have somebody else on that, can give me their idea for an answer, like their opinion and whatnot. So it ought to be good. What's up, Jeff? But today, in the install bay, while Fernando is not here, we're working on the Chevy Silverado. It is a 2020 Silverado. It is a rescue. It's the easiest way to say it. It's a weird story, but needless to say, it wasn't done by a shop. It was done by an individual who bought a bunch of stuff and put it in the car. The guy that... It was supposed to be like a gift. Anyways, so it really wasn't a gift in the sense that it needed to be fixed. Dan Bauman is coming on tonight, Jeff. So we have it here, and we're going through it, like we normally do, a little archaeology, just kind of figuring out what's happening. Luckily, there wasn't a ton of stuff done to it, so it's not like we had to dig really far into it. It is a Chevy, though, and it's non-Bose. That means it's going to have an outrageously loud door chime, which was the first thing. You open the door and it gives you, wet your pants a little bit, which is kind of cool. It was just using a standard T-harness like this, which is fine, except for the fact that you're going to get a loud door chime. It had a 4-gauge run. Just got done eating some pretzels. Anyways, had a 4-gauge in it. It's a CCA 4-gauge. So that kind of sucked because it was going off to the LC 61200 as well as an JL Audio amplified subwoofer. So kind of like the Rockford P300, just the JL version of it. So really kind of kludgy. The only thing that's still left in here that I haven't taken out because I don't need to get back here quite yet is the ground. Just to give you an idea, I can show you that so that you kind of get like what we were dealing with. So this is the ground for the system. Yep, I know you guys like that. So this is the brace for the jack, and they just grounded it right to there, and that was it. That was the whole thing. The amplifiers and everything was just kind of laying here on the floor. It looked really bad. So we pulled all that out this morning. The only thing I haven't pulled out is the power wire is just sitting here. Because I don't want to pull it through the firewall yet. The other thing they didn't do is they didn't put any dash speakers in. So they had a 6-channel, and the 6-channel was just running the front and rear. They didn't put anything in the dash to use the all 6 channels of the amplifier. Yeah. So we're putting in some Kenwood C2s in the dash. We already put those in, and my wires are waiting here to be connected. So these are the C2s. So this will be channels 1 and 2 will be the C2s. Channels 3 and 4 will be the R-type 6x9s that are in the door. And then 5 and 6 will be these back here. More than likely, I'll bandpass these so that we don't have this tweeter and this drawing away from the top of the dash and making it just sound weird. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. What's up, Mike? So that is what's happening with this. Now, as far as integration go, we talked about in a moment the T-harness. We're not using a T-harness in this. Metra actually makes this piece here, which is really cool. Which is their DSP that is designed specifically for this application. Even though this is not Bose, non-amplified, This guy here is really cool. The nice thing is, it's I don't want to get too deep in it because I filmed the video on it this morning, talking about it and showing what makes this thing really cool and why, if you have a GM that is not amplified, you're probably going to want to own this thing in your life, which is pretty nice. So that's how we're going to be integrating into it. It comes with the T-harness. It'll integrate in. The other thing we're going to be doing with it is putting in the LC61200, what I'm wiring up right now. This is going to go underneath the passenger front seat. This bracket suspends it about an inch off of the floor, so everything will pass underneath it, which is cool. And of course, the big rubber floor mats will still go underneath it here. As you can see, our wiring, the yellows are for the tweeters, or I'm sorry, for the dash speakers. So this will be 1 and 2, and then the doors and the rear doors. And then we'll be using inputs 1 and 2 to power 1 through 4, which is all of this. And then we'll be using this to power the rears. The Metropiece has a DSP built into it, so it already has like crossovers and band passes and fun stuff like that. So we don't have to run these crossovers, but they're set up right now anyways, just because I don't know which ones I want to use yet. So it's real easy to just go through here and top these off, or turn them off, so to speak. I have to solder on this connector that I was able to remove from his previous T-harness. So this will plug into my new T-harness, which is really nice. And somewhere on here is my wire strippers. So tonight's show will be fun. Dan at Titan is one of their head salesmen, if not their head salesman. So some of the questions you guys ask will be great because he'll have his perspective on them, which I love to get somebody else's perspective on the questions you guys ask. So it just makes for more interesting conversation. But yeah, that's really what's going on at the moment. It's Monday. Oh God, not that excited about this week. But hey, whatever. All right, so the first step is I like to strip off my lead, put on my shrink wrap. This is 1/8 inch 2-to-1 shrink wrap. So the thing that I've found is that if I don't put all the shrink wrap on at one time, I'm gonna forget it because I'll get sidetracked, especially when I'm talking. So put it all on, get it all where it needs to go, and then just put a zip tie around it. Don't go crazy or nothing. You don't have to pull it like super tight. And that will hold that up. So now I can come in and strip these ends and solder it on. And I don't have to worry about whether or not I forgot to put shrink wrap on it. Add in. I like to take the two wires and make an X out of them and then cross over the two so that it, it's like this, and then it wraps in and makes a nice tight wrap. Make sure there's no little rogue fingers that are sticking out. There we go. LLJ Customs is on the live. Or is Dean using one of their products? I am not using one of their products. No, I'm using a Metro product. That's kind of funny though, if you get the joke there. Yeah, definitely wouldn't be using one of their products. That's funny. Anyways, afternoon. How's everybody doing? That's good. So anyway, so what we end up with is these two nice little solder pieces, nice and tight. And for some reason you didn't get something twisted in, make sure to remove it. Don't just think like the shrink wrap will pop it down. I always just rub my fingers over the solders just to make sure that there's no little fingerlings sticking up, because that sucks. I thought that was weird. I kind of miss rants. Getting high on solder fumes. Dean going solo today. Yeah, Fernando had to take care of some personal stuff, so he is not here today. He'll be in tomorrow for. He's got a real busy week this week, which is kind of funny in his personal life. So I know it's weird to have a personal life. What is that all about? But yeah, he's got some stuff going on. He gets his hand looked at this week too, which is nice. So see if he can take his brace off, or if he needs to keep it back on, or if they're going to drill some screws into it. So that'll be good. All right. Why are the tweeter wires on the amp yellow colors? Good question. Glad that you noticed that. So we have a color scheme that we use when using outputs, and the tweeters. So the first thing is that we always use white, gray, green, purple as the positives for the outputs. The next part that you run into is, obviously, if you run like black stripes to everything, it makes it really difficult at a glance to figure out what you're connected to. So if, we have a tweeter, a mid bass, then if I have to look at the car, let's say 6 months from now, I have all 3 of those wires that are all the same, and I have to go and figure out which one is which. So then I have to do tone generating, or I have to do continuity tests, or so for the same reason that the car manufacturers, the guys that build your car, use different color wires instead of using all the same. Unlike airplane manufacturers, like everything to be white. I don't know, those guys are nuts. We make our tweeter wires to be yellow or orange or red, so hot colors, which are, like when you look at a tweeter, it's a hot speaker. It's the hottest speaker in the car as far as like that brightness of it. So then for a mid-range, the mid-range would be blue. So it would be like white and blue. If we're out of blue for whatever reason, we can substitute in brown. I don't like to do that because nobody likes brown. And then the mid bass, that one is typically going to be like white with black. That'll be your black wire. So we can look at these and we can figure out. We'll also substitute in purple if we need to. But the color, the secondary color, which is the ground, will often reflect the frequency that the speakers are trying to play, so that we know we can look at it and go, oh, okay, so that's a tweeter wire, that's a mid-range wire, if that makes any sense. In your experience with the kicker key, have you used the kicker EQ function more or less often? We always use the EQ function. We never, ever, ever ship it without the EQ on. Now there has been times where we've had some people that are hard of hearing, and older people that can't hear that well and don't like the EQ. They prefer a more flat response, and that just standard factory whatever it was doing, they just want it louder. In which case we'll go back in and flip the little toggle switch. I think we've done that twice since the amp has come out. Otherwise, no, we always use it because that's the whole purpose of the key, right? to use the EQ. Because Tweety Bird is yellow. Yeah, that works too. Mary Lou loves you guys. She has to work, and she couldn't get off on time. Don't worry. We'll get her on. Saturday might work better for her. There's no reason why we can't get her on the weekends. So, we know you want. Man, I'm having a hard time talking today. We know you guys want her on. She knows you guys want her on. It's just a matter of getting our schedules lined up. She likes to travel and do all kinds of stuff like that. So, we can't expect her to just drop everything to make us happy. She likes to do stuff on the weekends. She's a free spirit. Anyways. All right. If you have to use MDF sub box, do you seal the panels with anything, i.e. resin or something gooey like that? I don't mean the joints, I mean the flat surfaces. No, I never sealed the flat surfaces. The only time you would do that is if it was going to be like in an area that was going to get wet. However, I will say that now, because of like rhino lining and stuff like that, a lot of people, a lot of the boxes we sell just come pre-rhino lined. And I know a lot of people just, some of the guys that we have build the stuff will rhino line the boxes. And that's just making it tougher and sealing up all the cracks. But like, I've never worried about like the wood breathing, even on a stack fab, which if you think about it, the stack fab, because you're not using the sealed side, you're using the porous side, you think that would be an issue, and I very rarely see anyone seal up a stack fab. So yeah, I really don't think that's anything you need to worry about. I have in the past, when we would do something marine, one of the marine guys was like, he took wood glue and water and made a thinner version of wood glue, and he would paint that over the whole exterior of the box, sealing on all the pores with the wood glue, making it basically waterproof at that point, he said. I did it a couple times just because I never poured water all over it to find out, but it seemed like a good idea to me. Which do you like the sound better of, the Sony ES 3-way or the Alpine? I don't think I've heard either one of them enough to be like, you should choose this one. So yeah, I don't know. I know the ES has, so happen to have an ES sitting right here, because this is going in our display. So the ES has this giant tweeter that you can remove all this glue on. If you need to put it in something smaller, which this to me is the one, like, okay, I gotta have some room for this because it's such a large mount. That to me is the only sticking point on the Sony. Whereas like typically the Alpines, you can break them down to their core functionality. They're like their core piece. But other than that, I don't really have an opinion on which one is better. Howdy, what's up? How would you configure a system for 2014 Grand Cherokee Premium System? Dash center channel has me stumped. 10 speaker total. So if you're going to be doing something like if you're going to be doing something where you're going to be using like an interface piece, like an Amp Pro or something like that, and going to a DSP, the question would be the need for the center channel. So if you're just worried about, center stage and whatnot, by time aligning the speakers, that will bring your image into the center and basically accomplish that. The center channel in most systems isn't that important. If you're planning on doing something like an upmix 2-seat tune type thing, or you're planning on keeping their DSP and just amplifying it, then obviously, yeah, you'd want some form of a center channel, and it would need to match the left and right speaker. But, most of the time when we do a big system or a system that has a 3-way set or a 2-way set or something like this, the center channel, it doesn't exist because no one really does a good job of building the up mixer into their product in order to retain a center channel. And so, we just do what's called the 1C tune, where we tune it for the driver, and all the vocal comes out of the center of the dash and all the stuff, the imaging across the center of the dash and whatnot. So we don't really worry about it that much. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's my take on it. What's a good middler to use on the dash? A pair with Morel Elate Carbon Pros. So if you're gonna do all Morel all the way across, and you're looking for a middler, the MM2, which is the Carbon Nano MM2, has a nice flat response. It's pretty nice. Trying to think. They do make the CW or CCW3 or CCW that is their middler. That has, if you're not going to be doing a ton of DSP, would probably sound pretty good. There again, it's tough when you're having a late Carbon Pro because that's such a big speaker. We have used the MM2 in the past up there. If you have room, they also have the Elate 3-inch dome mid that would work, but that's not a middler, as you said. That's just a dome mid made to be combined with a tweeter. ...2019 Tacoma, if running active front stage and we use AudioFrog GS8 in the doors and 25 in the dash, and what crossover point should they be set for? Okay, so that's an AudioFrog question, and the one thing I will tell you about anything AudioFrog related is Andy is super easy to get a hold of. So, and he's more than happy to help you because he does not want you to break his speakers. So I would strongly recommend reaching out via email or text message or anything to Andy, or head over to the AudioFrog Enthusiast Facebook group where he is there along with some of his minions that will help you. I am not an AudioFrog expert, so I'm just going to refer you to the people that are, in which case, ask Andy. He's the best. When did you say Mr. Ward will be on? We haven't finalized the Ken Ward show yet. I'm going to try for next week because of all the time Fernando's going to be out this week, so I think next week will be ideal. It won't be something that is live just because there's a lot of stuff that has to go right in order for it to be live. So we'll just be recording it, and then if everything goes according to plan, we'll release it the following day. But as of right now, that's kind of our thought on the matter. But I have to talk to Fernando, make sure that's okay with his schedule, and then I'll reach out to Ken, and as soon as I know, we'll share it with you guys like we share everything. So, all right. So what we've done here is we now have our end that'll plug into our T harness. This is going to go up to our passenger dash. That's why it's the gray and yellow. And this is the white and yellow, which is going to go over to the driver's side of the dash. So this will all come up the passenger side of the car. So that is that. Yay! I love it when a plan comes together. What do you think of pre-built boxes like BB boxes? I haven't heard of those, but we do use a ton of pre-filled, pre-made boxes. There again, if you're not, you have to buy the box for what you're trying to do. So for example, like if you really think about it, Bobby Gately makes a prefab box, right? That's a pre-made box for an F-150 or for a pair of 12s or whatever. And he builds the box because he assumes you're going to put a 10,000 watts behind it and break the crap out of it. So the box is built accordingly. So the problem that most people have with prefab boxes is they'll buy the wrong box for what they're trying to do. They have a 2,000 or 3,000 watt amp. They got super woofers and they go buy a $79 prefab box and they bitch that it falls apart. I'm not familiar with that box, but the only advice I can give you is buy a box for what you're trying to do. So a lot of the stuff that we do is very simple, meaning it's 1,000 watts tops. So putting two 12s in a pre-built box in the back of a car, it's within its build spec in order for it to function the way we need it to. That's the most important thing. Any thoughts on the Sony AX8500? Any fitment issues? For a Tundra, no, it should go in just fine. It should go for in just fine. The one thing that's unique about the 8500 that makes it kind of an odd mount is that it tilts this way, which also makes it the cool thing. So not only does it go, not only is it going like this, it's also, you can turn it towards you or turn it towards the passenger. In order to do that, there's this big nut in the bottom of the radio. And the way it comes out of the box, they've made the nut go down to shrink the packaging. So the first thing you really need to do is pull the screws on the side and bring it back up straight, put the screws back in, and then you can take full advantage of this. In doing that, it moves the screen out like an extra 1/4 of an inch. In a Tundra, you have plenty of room, so what I would recommend is sliding the radio. First thing, you're going to slide it in the most that you can from Sony, but then you also might want to pull it back some more. Depends on how much left and right turn you want, but it does come out just a little bit more for that left and right because of the way it was designed. But it's a solid looking radio. We just put it in on our board. We've put a couple of them in. I like it. Wood glue and water, do that if you want to paint the MDF. Yeah, exactly. I know you have to put Rockford. I know you have put Rockford Fosgate P3 preloaded enclosures in the Tundra, but have you tried the T1 preloaded? Wondering if it would fit. No, it's too deep. It's too big. It's too big. The P3 is substantially smaller. That's not to say you couldn't have a custom one built to go in there, but we didn't. And it's Morel. Hey, hi Morel. Hey, it's funny that one of the things I was thinking about earlier today when we were thinking about Morel, normally this is where Fernando does like his little, hey, head over to morelhifi.com and talks about follow him on Instagram because Natasha always puts out like shirt ads and stuff like that. Haven't got the new shirt, by the way. But I was thinking of something else. A lot of the times, we get caught up in this world. Like someone was talking about Elates earlier, and there's these like high level speakers that like people get excited about. And the problem is that $1,200, $2,400, $3,600 speakers aren't in everyone's world. However, they still want that. They still want to feel like they're part of that. They still want to be included in the conversation. And that's why manufacturers like Morel make from mild to wild as far as price points go. So you have Tempo Ultras, you have the Tempo Ultras, the Maximus, the Maximos, the Maximo HEs. There's a ton of them that are more affordably priced that still are that high-end Morel sound. One of the things Morel is known for the most is the tweeter, okay, because it has that luscious sounding silk soft dome tweeter, which follows through the whole line. All right, so it is all designed in-house, but some of the more affordable ones, even on the Tempo Ultra, has the oversized voice coil when compared to its comparable other manufacturers that pretend to be in that space. My point is, whether you feel you can afford it or not, make sure to check into it, because my guess is if you're really on the fence of should I buy some Morels, yeah, they make one for you. They make them at all price points and all levels of audio that you might be interested in pursuing. So you can find them over at morelhifi.com, as well as you can find them here on Instagram. So, anyways, I have an EchoMaster front camera with the Kenwood 957. The image is reversed. I don't see any option in the Kenwood to reverse and fix it. You're right, you don't. There isn't in the Kenwood anymore. If you have an EchoMaster camera and it is reversed, first things first is, if you know the model number, go onto the website and look to see if you can find the instruction manual, which you should be able to. The instruction manual will tell you if it has the pigtails necessary in order to flip it at the camera. If it does, and you were like, there would have been 2 pairs of wires at the RCA that goes behind the radio. Usually they're like a green and a white. They have a little piece of shrink wrap over them. Sometimes they have little flags hanging off of them. And a lot of times they're for backup lines and reversing the image, whether you want them or don't want them. So as long as your EchoMaster has that feature, you're going to have to pull your radio back out, disconnect power from it. If it's only hooked up to accessory, just make sure the key is off. Twist the 2 wires together and or cut the wire, and that will reverse the image for you. But yeah, that would be the only way to do it, is at the camera. Kenwood only has that feature, I believe, in the 1000 series radios. So, Markland, what's up? DSP definitely, yes. Okay, thank you. Just didn't want to miss it. No problem. How's it coming with the IRTA2 Android? Actually, it works now. So, funny you should ask. I'm over here charging my Android tablet right now. So, we finally... Oh, it's 100%. Yay, look at that. We just need to get some time to film the videos. And now that we're back from vacation, I gotta be honest with you. Like, I hate Android tablets so much. I don't know how you guys manage with these things. And I know it's the same for like people that hold iPhones and go, I don't know how you iPhone people use these things. It's so frustrating. Like, it makes no sense to me. But anyways, I'm powering the unit up right now. We have the Samsung Galaxy tablet, thanks to our good friends over at, man, my brain is crap. Sounds Good Stereo in Tennessee. Sage and the boys bought a couple of these to use for something else. They decided not to use them, and they were like, I was talking to them, and they were like, hey, we have one. We'll send you one. And I was like, oh, fantastic. So, Sounds Good Stereo. Make sure to check them out for all your F-150s and Dodge TRX, and some of the, like this Chevy. They saw the bracketry for that, so make sure to check them out. This thing takes an obscene amount of time to power up. It's still powering up. I mean, this is like Windows. Wow. This is like, am I missing something? Wow. Okay. All right. Well, this is going to take a minute to power up, apparently. So, see, just sitting there doing that. Come on. Okay. We'll come back to that. Is there, mosquitoes. Is there an aftermarket backup camera that will fit in the Ford tailgate emblem? Yeah, just buy the EchoMaster Ford tailgate emblem camera. Yeah, or if you want, you can just go buy. So the reality is if you're trying to fit something into it, there's probably something out there that fits. Like EchoMaster makes like 200 different cameras, so you can go to their website and check them all out. However, what you would probably want to do is pull the factory emblem off first and see what the camera looks like, and then try to match that up to like an existing camera that already exists. I don't know how much money you'll be saving other than to just buy the F-150 camera that we use it to replace it all the time. This thing is still powering up. Hey, what is, oh, wow. It was fine. Oh, now it's optimizing apps. It's been off for like a week or two because we didn't take it on the plane with us. So, what is a good RCA? We use Stinger. We use Stinger cables. I don't know if they're the best, but we use them and we've always had great success with them, so we continue to use them. I'm a sucker for once I find something that works, I just keep using it. On the Jeep, I was thinking LC7i Pro from the factory amp into a 5 or 4 channel and just keep that front channel on the factory amp. Thank you, love watching. Okay, so don't do that. Let's not do that on the Jeep. Let's just get an Amp Pro. The Amp Pro is the answer to that question. LC7i is not. So buy the Amp Pro. The Amp Pro will allow you to keep the factory amp in play so that if you want to do what you just said, you can. Keep in mind, if you try to use an LC7i, you don't have enough channels. Swipe to open. Because it's a premium audio system, means it has more channels. So it would be silly to do that. All right, so somewhere on here, I have the DSP. Ah, there it is. I didn't want to do that. So I'm talking about, guys. Like, I don't know how you do this. Okay. All right. So anyways, no, don't get an LC7i Pro. Love it. Not for this. Go buy the Amp Pro. Way better move. Personally, I just put a new radio in it, but yeah. I wish the Sony Maestro interface would be jazzed up just a little. Okay, so that is all Sony's fault, by the way. Maestro just gives them the basic kit. That's why, like, when you look at the Kenwood, and you're like, holy crap, like, that looks so amazing on their radios. Sony, Pioneer, those guys aren't putting in the effort to make those look pretty. Okay, so let me flip this around here. If you have an Android, which is this guy right here, this is the RTA Pro app, which will plug into the, this is what we've been waiting for. So right now it's seeing my voice. We just need to do a video that shows this working with the IRTA. Don't go buy the IRTA right now, okay? Just because we're going to have a sale here in the next couple days on it. So if you've been like, oh, cool, it works with Android, don't go buy it yet, okay? Wait until we tell you to, because I'd hate for you to go buy it and then miss out on the sale that we have coming up, because it is July. And we were going to start it at the beginning of the month and do like a big, big discount and all that other fun stuff like we did last year. We're still going to do it. It's just we got to wait, because I want to wait for Fernando to get back here. So anyways, yeah. So basically what we got going on is we've just plugged in the IRTA2. We're just hearing the noise from turning on and off the switch. But it's plugged in. Let me see what we got here. And I think I can use this tone generator to put some noise into this, because this tone generator is so flippin' noisy. And if I grab an RCA, it'll make it even easier. Sorry for walking around with the phone in my hand. Let's put it on the left. Okay, turn that on. All right, so let me show you what we got going on here. Thoughts on Rockford Fosgate interior speakers. We use the T2 stuff all the time. Shirt's on the way. Oh, thank you, Natasha. Okay. What is Dean's top pick for DSP? All right, we'll come back to that. All right, so we have the red tone generator, the custom job that we made a long time ago. By we, I mean me. We are running that into the left channel of the IRTA2. We have that turned on. We are looking at this. If we do, we can roll this around. And this tone generator, as you can see, makes a ton of background noise, which is so fabulous. It's not very precise. We just use it to test, but so as you watch me roll it. So now, yay. So what we want to do is, see, there's just a bunch of noise there. But anyways, yeah, so we have to do some more testing. What we're going to be doing is a couple videos here soon using this little guy here, which is the Atomo 4 to 6 DSP. What's awesome about this is we can plug it into the laptop without actually having to power it up. The laptop will power this up, and we can use that to create any scenario we need to. So all pass filters and all that, so we can shoot videos on how this works, so we can show all you guys with the Android, the stuff that all the Apple guys have had forever. So as far as top picks of DSP, right now I have 2 DSPs that I am super excited to use, and those are the ones that we try to push, which is the Moscone DSP. Love it. It's fantastic. It does amazing things, as well as the Arc Audio DSP. So we switch between those depending on what are the client's needs, but we love them both. They're my favorite. So that's what I like to use. But there again, you know, you have to figure out what works for you and your needs. Any cool new tools or bits of install gear? So these are our new bamboo printers that we got in. And of course, one of the doors came shattered. Yay. We just finally unboxed these. I've been sitting in my living room before we went on vacation. So I had to buy a new door. Yay. Thank you, Bamboo, for not figuring out how to actually package your product properly. So that was cool. But we just unboxed these. We've been really busy, so we haven't had time, or we haven't been here. But I'm super excited to get these up and running. These apparently are the best, funnest, fastest. I don't know what they are, but everyone said we had to have these. So now we have 2 of these. Yay. And the old one's going over to Fernando's house for him to play with at his house, so he can have more fun with that. All right, let's turn this Samsung thing off. Put this back over here so we don't lose it. Oh, so the RTA app that we're using. So if you have an Android device and you like to start playing with this, I think there's a free version and like a $5 version of it. Stop. You guys, man, I swear to God, I don't know how you guys do this. Oh, here it is. Oh. RTA Analyzer while using app. Yeah, so it's RTA Analyzer. Get Pro version. I think I already bought the Pro version. Stop. So this is the non-Pro version, but I know I have it on my... I know I bought it and have it in here somewhere. I can't even figure out how to close this thing, so... Yeah, you gotta watch videos on how to use, RTA Pro. Which one is this? Yeah, so anyways, that's it. That's RTA Pro. RTA, so we got RTA Analyzer and RTA Pro. I think they're the same thing. Yeah, so RTA Pro is the Pro version. I think it's like $5. And I was just using the Analyzer version. That's why it was acting kind of weird. But yeah, buy the Pro for like $5. It works great. Anyways. If it's an older tablet, it will take a minute. I don't know what this is. Like, it just says Samsung. I know. It's like, yeah. I feel like our president trying to use a phone. Where do you put the quarter? Anyways, I used to like Android, but it's not as convenient or flexible as it used to be. That consistently changing the operating software every 3 years and no support past that point. I can understand that. I mean, there again, phones, you go with your team. It's okay. I'm not going to judge anyone on that. I thought EchoMaster discontinued the forward emblem cam. It may have. I don't know. But like I said, if you don't want to buy the emblem camera, take your camera out and just compare it to something comparable. I'm sure they have something. Take my money. Slow it down. I want you to take less of your money. I want to give you a deal. Is there a minimum Android system for it to work on? I have a really old Android tablet I'd like to use. That's going to be between you and Android. So we're not making the app. So if you can get the app to work on your phone, I'm thinking it needs to be USB-C to work properly. That's a good question though, because we have, like I said, we haven't tested it yet. This one does have an aux input on it, so we will be testing the aux, but that was the USB-C you saw me using there, because most Androids have USB-C. The one caveat on all of this will be if you decide to do it, you will still have to buy an Apple product. You will have to buy the Apple aux to USB-C adapter, the little white pigtail that you saw hanging out of it. That has to be the Apple piece, because everybody else's sucks. Believe it or not, there's a little tiny DSP chip in there, and that little tiny DSP chip limits the performance of the units. We have a video where we tested all these little aux to USB-C things, and it's amazing how bad these things are. That's why most phone manufacturers have just switched to Bluetooth so that they can kind of control what's happening. But anyways, best reliable equalizer. There's a ton of them. Do I need a fuse before the amp if it comes with one? All right, so best practices. If, for example, this is going to be in the back of the car. It has these fuses here. There's going to be a 4-gauge power wire that comes from the battery directly to here. There'll be a fuse at the battery. There will not be a fuse anywhere between the battery and here. It'll just go into here. Now, if I was going to have, let's say, a power distribution block, or I had to split that power wire. So let's say I was going to come off of that power wire and go back to the 10-inch amplified enclosure that it has, which I'm not going to. But if I was going to, then what I would want to do is put a fused distribution block here. Even though this has a fuse, I want to protect the other power wire per se, because I'm going to have an 8-gauge going back. So I want to protect that through the car. So that's when you would do fused distribution block. If it's just one wire, one product, you're fine. Why don't you guys strike a deal, Apple, and include them with the RTA? They're like $10. And then I would have to warranty it and all this other crap. You can go buy it at Best Buy for $10. They have like that particular product is probably Apple's crappiest product, as you called it. Ooh, that was good. It's a 50-50. They have a 50% failure rate on that particular cable, meaning if it doesn't work out of the box, you got to return and get another one. So for me to have to warranty those out was kind of stupid. So I would just go to Best Buy and buy it for $10. If it works, great, you're good. You spend $10. If it doesn't work, you take it back and they give you a new one, and you still only spend $10. If I sold it to you and it didn't work, then you'd have to pay to ship it back to me. I'd have to pay to ship it back to you, and it goes from a $10 cable to a $20 cable, and that's kind of dumb. I purchased 2 wire rulers. Love it. Thank you so much. It does have to be the cheapest Apple part ever. I don't have them here. They're actually in my travel bag because we just leave them in there now, but it's in there again. It's not because it's Apple. It's just because Apple builds the best one of these. But it's this little stupid thing right here. So it's USB-C here. It's microphone on the other end. This one is painted blue, so because we know this one actually works. The first one of these we got didn't work, which was fantastic. It sent us on a downward spiral into hell. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just order a couple more of these and see if it's the cable. It turns out to be the cable. And we're like, oh, fantastic. Because it sucked. So, not everyone can be perfect all the time. All right, it is time for me to get back to work because I need to get this show prepped and ready to go. We'll see you guys at 6:30 with our special guest, Dan Bauman. Thank you guys for playing along. If you have more questions, make sure to head over. Dan is an expert in a lot of things. Most of it is car stereo, but you know, we'll have fun with him tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll see you guys tonight. Bye. Wow, they changed the font too. Good day, everyone. How you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Just here, chilling. Yeah, amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah?
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. I saw a funny joke this morning, or a funny story. The guy was talking about how people, when they say, thank God it's Friday,
Yes.
So basically 5/7 of their week sucks. 2/7 of the week they try to prep themselves for the next 5/7. So, yeah. Either way. What is up, everyone? How is everybody doing today? So we had the pleasure this week of working on some pickup trucks. What's up? And this Dodge came in for an upgrade. And I know some of you guys out there are gonna be like, "Wait, what?" And so let's kind of unpack this one. Rainy day in Phoenix, still 105. It's gonna rain here very shortly. All right, so
right now it's 92. The high is gonna be 92, and the low is gonna be 77. With the 92%,
I don't know when it'll be 92 or 77. All right, so let's kind of take a look at what we got going on here. First up, we did two 10-inch Rockford P1s underneath the back seat in the Dodge Ram box.
Look at that! Come on over here.
And so, well, it'd help if I had a light, but okay. So
have a light?
no, we're okay. It's okay. So one of the things that I've always hated is speaker cups. Like, I do not like speaker cups at all. I always think they're kind of cheesy. Steve Meade does a really good job at making speaker cups, but I was talking with Sage at Sounds Good Stereo, and he was talking about the type of speaker cup they made, and he was like, I use these things. And I was like, oh, those are cool. And of course, the audio control boxes now come with something like this built into them. And I was like, all right, cool. So we're going to make our version of it. So what we got here is this is flushed into this front piece of 1/4 inch. There's another piece of 1/4 inch on the back. There again, this is the first one. I'm going to modify it a little bit because I want like the 5-star logo to stand out more, and I want this to be deeper. But the idea is done. 10 gauge wire in. Nice, simple. Don't have to worry about it doing anything stupid. It feels really good. But yeah, there's our new speaker cup. Yeah, it is an XTC connector, and the back piece is a surface mountable XTC connector. So this back piece here
XT90
is an XT90, but it comes already with these 2 screw holes on them. So there you go. Look at that. Goes in really nice. For those of you guys that didn't know, they actually make a tool. Like if you're one of those like to use those, they make this tool here. This is designed for holding all these things in place so that you can solder them in. It unscrews and opens up. But yeah, they make this guy. So pretty neat. All right, so question. Oh, hold on. Let's switch. Put on my reading glasses. 2020 GMC Sierra Bose system. Only keeping it for another year. I just want to replace the small middlers and front and rear speakers. What would be good upgrade for around $500 to $600? Why would you want to replace them? Like,
if it's gonna be,
if you're getting rid of it in a year, just leave it alone. I mean,
if they blown,
yeah, I get it. Go buy some factories.
Go buy some. Maybe you buy some Kenwoods, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
they blown, but if they not blown, I mean that's your money.
If you want to spend some money to do some stuff, I would look at the Kenwood 6902s for the front. That'll be a 2-inch middler.
Controls.
No, 6. They don't make a 2.5. No, it's a 2-inch in the dash, not a 3.5. So it's the 6902s. We just did one this week. Literally, that was Monday and Tuesday. So
when?
Tuesday.
I was
either way, you were but you were here for it. Okay, so 6902s in the front, and then a set of 174s in the rear would be. So check out some Kenwood Exelons. Yeah. That'll be right in that price range if you feel you need to do it. But yeah. I just got the model XT60s. Yeah, aren't they? They're awesome. I didn't get the 60s. I got the 90s just because we like to run 10 gauge to the subs. I have the regular 60s. I don't have the mountable 60s. I'll probably end up getting them just because I like them so much now. Yeah. Finally getting able to use them. I buy them pre-terminated, which is also nice because soldering them can really suck. All right, so here we go. We put a Sony 4000 in the dash, put the USB-C down here into this panel. Now, for those of you that have ever seen one of these, you're looking at the dash. Okay, there's nothing. There's nothing here. Okay, so I mean, we can see it. Trust me. There's the radio. Okay, so this is purely for show. All right, so service bulletin, guys. Listen, if you own one of these older Dodge vehicles,
Tech tip.
and you have a broken dash like this, which all of you do, for the love of God, do not leave the broken pieces of the dash just pooling up into the top of the dash here. Remove them. It is such a hazard. If you get in an accident, these pieces are all going to come flying at you, all right? And if you don't have glasses on or something like, they're going to hit you in the face. They're going to hit your kids in the face, your girlfriend, wife, whatever in the face. Pull the pieces out of that. Like we cleaned out our dash. Like this box right here is just full of all those pieces. So don't leave them sitting up there. There's not a magic fairy that is going to come one night and put your dash back together. It's not going to happen. So get rid of them, okay? All right, so Sony 4000 the dash. The speakers ended up being the Alpine S-Type. So I have an Alpine S-Type tweeter here, Alpine, the 6x9 mid-bass. So this is the Alpine component set, 6x9 component set. This in the rear is the 5 1/4 here. It goes back here. I always thought it was funny, if you ever get the chance to take one of these door panels off, the speaker was going to be mounted here, but then when they shut the door, they realized, oh crap. So then they had to redo it and put it here, but they didn't bother to, yeah, it's kind of funny. Is there a company that makes direct replacement speakers for 2013 Silverado? Check Power Bass. Power Bass makes all the plug-and-play speakers that are available. That's who we use for direct fit. I think they do make that speaker in the Power Bass line.
For the 13?
I think so. Well, if they'd be the only ones. I just can't live with the Bose sound for another year. I totally understand. I totally understand. And there again, I don't know if it's gonna work for you all that well, but
You know, well, no, it's only $600. Never mind.
What?
No, I mean, we can.
Well, the reality is what you want to do is pull the Bose system, put the Metra interface in.
That's what I'm saying. Just do an upgrade.
Put a 5-channel amp in or something. Well, no, you got to pull everything because when you do that, the amp comes out. But I could see if you just left the rears out.
Yes.
So maybe
just
like
a front stage. You know.
Get a 5-channel DSP amp.
Yep.
Power up the front.
Yes.
And a sub.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know.
It wouldn't be too bad.
No.
I mean, it'd still be probably more than you want to spend on something.
100%. Oh, it's more than $600.
Yeah, it's definitely more. I do basic Kenwood and Sony for that. Yep. You're welcome. Replace all the speakers in my Element with Infinity Kappas. What amp would you suggest to replace the stock? I mean, there's a lot of amps to choose from. It depends. You want something with a DSP, something without a DSP. You just want straight power. Infinity makes amplifiers that are really nice amplifiers.
They have an amplifier DSP.
Well, I'm just saying, straight power-wise, they have some really nice amplifiers that are, powerful, affordable, compact.
Yeah.
It's a lot to choose from. Dean, put the soldering tool on the DNF tool drawer, please. Which one? I thought I did.
Yeah, it's there. No? The yellow one?
Okay. Oh, that tool. The one the XC tool. Okay, yeah, I will, Bobby.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought I did, but yeah, you're right, I haven't. I got an Element as well. Oh, very nice. The customer always asks for SPL. How should convince them for SQ? How should I educate them? Okay, so here's my thought on this, okay? Because we get this every now and then where we get the old guy that comes in. He's like, I just want to put some 12s in my car because I had some when I was younger and I just want my bass. I want it louder. And you're like, okay, cool.
That's how they say.
Yeah, of course. It's exactly how they say it. When I was older, when I was younger, I used to be cool. So now I want it very simple, very basic. I don't want anyone to ask.
I think the customer's comment is like, I used to do this back in the day.
I used to have hair. Now I dye myself skin. Anyways, so the reality is when you do a full system, it gets louder. So your ears...
Your ears?
okay, so all right, so when you hear, so for example,
now it's
like,
getting serious. Okay, so
all right, well,
he's
all right,
like,
all right, so for example,
Okay.
like this car has 210s in it, has a set of 6x9 components and a set of 5 1/4. When you turn it up, I can't hear, like, I have to yell at Fernando for him to hear me, and he's sitting 3 feet away from me. This is a very loud system. Now, this is very characteristic. Oh, and it's powered by an 802.5, which is a small amplifier, but very efficient speakers. So everything in here is very efficient, gets loud, gets rocking, gets jamming. When you're listening to this, it's all loud, okay? And it sounds good, but it's all loud. If all we did was put subwoofers in here and didn't increase the volume of the mids and highs, the bass would be louder, but the rest of the system would be very generic and boring, meaning it would just be like it would just sound like it did back in the 80s when you just had boom, 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 and you're like, that sucks. So, if you do like a front stage upgrade where you put in a really nice set of components, with a DSP and some power, and then add some subwoofer to it. So you're increasing the volume of the most common frequency that the ear hears, which is mid-range. Okay, so you're making that sound better, making that louder. That is going to automatically make the subwoofers louder because you're adding in a speaker for them to couple to. All right. Otherwise, the subwoofer has to deliver on everything, and you'll get into a car and you'll be like, wow, that bass really isn't that loud. When it is, but there's nothing else as a point of reference in our head for them to hear it to. When you go to the sound offs and you look at the crazy guys with the giant, like the giant SPL vehicles that have rows, like they got a wall of nonsense in the back. Bobby Gately's cars. We got the fucking pleasure of listening to his cars. And those things are the most insane things on the planet. Not to be confused with sound quality. However, there is a certain amount of sound quality to them because of how loud everything is. So you can hear the tweeter, you can hear the mid-range, and you can hear the woofer. And it's just like this, it's just like this sound that envelops your body. And it's just like, holy God, and your shirt's moving, but you can hear every single word that is coming out of the the speakers. The song, it's actually a song. It's not just like. So, when educating the customer, it's always the conversation you have to have of like, okay, so what is the goal here? Do you just want to hear boom tick, boom tick, boom tick? And most of the time they're like, oh no, I want to hear the words too. And you go, okay, well let's dial it back. Let's not put 5,000 watts on the subwoofer, maybe just 1,000, 2,500, and let's put power to the mids and highs and get some mids and highs that'll actually keep up with that. So that, I'm assuming you don't just want to hear, and they might. We fixed the system not too long ago for a gentleman that was like, yeah, he had a Ford BO system which sucked, and they all sucked. There's no power to them or nothing. And he needed us to get in there and fix the subwoofer that somebody had installed. But it turns out it's like a 5,000 watt amp. He had like a hybrid battery in the back and all that. I'm like, holy crap, dude. Like, what the hell? He's like, oh, well, back in the day. I'm like, yeah, that day has passed. And it was just a boom tick system. But it was a boom tick, and the tick was the factory. It was not good. So, what would end up happening is he's riding around with it at like a quarter volume because he can't hear the mids and highs, but he's got 5,000 watts of sub power. And you're like, so when you're ready to finish this, it'll be a lot louder. And he's like, I don't understand. And I was like, well, when everything is playing at the same level, then yeah, the whole system is going to be more enjoyable. And I'm like, so, when I turned the subwoofer down, I said, hear this? Yeah, this sounds good, right? Well, imagine if it was 4 times this level on everything. How good would that sound? And he was like, oh.
Okay, so how he's gonna convince the customer?
Build a really loud system for him? I'm just, you have to have skills in talking to the people to kind of get the point across. Telling them stories, referencing things, helping them relate. The reality is most people don't know what they want.
I think the best way, if you, like for example, I have a lot of Spanish customers that they looking for loud, right? And every time they come and they ask, it's like, I want it loud and I want it clear. I want a sound quality that is loud, and it's like, okay, it's a difference.
Yeah, your
right?
sound quality and my sound quality are different.
For me, what I would say is like, put something in your car. Put something in your car that sounds great. You know, it's not loud, it's not SPL, and take them to the car. See if they like that type of sound, you know? And explain them what's the difference in between the regular paper cone, just loud SPL speaker.
I mean, well, there again,
like something like this.
You could also do it on a demo board. You could take some and just see what works. So 2 questions I liked. Will there be a video for the Chevy you were working on Monday? There will be a small video that talks about the high-level to low-level Metra interface we use, talking about controlling the door chimes. As far as the whole system video, no. But just the interface that most people ask about, and like, you know, because in a Chevy you always have the issue with the door chimes. This fixes the door chimes, as long as it gives you a basic EQ. And yes, we gave all the pieces back. They might want to, you know, I don't know, they might have a project they want to do, like glue all the pieces back together again. Love the Audison video on, yep. So we posted the video on the lab, the 4.10 went into Haley's car. This Monday night, we will be, after the live show, we'll be filming the second part of that to be released later next week. So we're not going to do it live because he's dialing in from the other side of the country to do something remotely. So I don't really want to. We're not gonna be there for 4 hours trying to do that live. So we'll have the second part of that video up next week for you guys to see of Accordia from Audison. You know, it was funny the other day. Somebody commented on that video. It was like, you know, Hertz is the parent company of Audison.
No,
and it's not. Electromedia is the parent company of both of them. They're both actually. Audison was out long before Hertz. Hertz is the derivative of Audison. Anyways, moving on. Tech tip of the day. The tech tip is simple. If you own one of these old Dodge Rams, do not leave your pieces to your dash in the dash. Get them out. Clean them out so they don't become projectiles and hurt you. What's up, Techno Express in the house? You guys look fresh. Now, we just, you know, we only got to look like this for the 30 minutes that we're doing this, and then we can go back to looking half dead. Is it true the LC7i can be used as a signal feed for amps? I mean, it's a high level to low level adapter. What else would you want to use it for? I mean, it's only a high level to low level adapter. That's all it is. So if you're looking for a line driver, like if you're looking to, like, you have a low level signal already, but you want to increase it and go out to other amplifiers, that's actually the, I can't read it from the Matrix. Thank you. Which is the Matrix. The Matrix is a line driver to feed other amplifiers more voltage. So, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. With killer subs in the rear, of course. Always. Gotta have subs. What does part 2 can come out? Dude, I just answered that, Christian. Okay. I have 4 6-inch and 2 6x9s. Would it be better to use a 6-channel or a 4-channel? If 4, do I find RMS the sum of the 2 speakers? No. So here's the thing. Depending on the situation, level control is the most important thing, meaning speakers on channels that are controlled. Like when you look at like a factory amplified system, the reason why they have so many channels is so they can have level control for the speakers. Anytime we do DSP work, you know, like when you do a 6-channel front stage, you use a 6-channel amplifier or an 8-channel amplifier, so you can include the rears, so you can have level control. The more channels, the better, so you can control what is going on. So in a situation like in this Ram, we have this tweeter here, we have this 6x9 here. In a perfect world, these would be on channels 1 and 2, this would be on 3 and 4. If I can't do that, then I would hope to have a passive crossover that has some attenuation on it so that I could take this down some compared to that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do it with EQ, like I'm going to have to turn the treble down some. If I don't want this just like, yay, look at me. So the other thing too is when you're talking about sizes, so like if we took this 6x9 and this 5 1/4 and we put them on the same amplifier channel, so if these were both on, let's say, channels 3 and 4, the best I can get this 6x9 to play is the best I can get this 5 1/4 to sound. So it's a 5 1/4, it's got a small driver. This is a 6x9, it's got a bigger driver. But I can't have this playing the 6x9 frequencies that it wants because on the same channel is the 5 1/4, which is going to limit that. Because if I tried to, well, it's going to bottom out. Because let's say I cross this over at, let's say, 70 or 80 hertz. This really needs to be crossed over between 90 and 110. Playing those lower frequencies, this might bottom out and already start to distort or clip or do bad things. So I have to tune it for the 5 1/4, which is the lowest common denominator. That means my 6x9 is going to sound like a 5 1/4. Great. That's bad business, bro, for sure. So that's the thing you have to think about when doing multiple sizes. Now, as far as whatever the power rating is on the speaker, so if it's a 45 watt speaker or a 70 watt speaker, don't look at peak 300. That's ridiculous. That's what you want for the channel, regardless of how many you're going to put on it. Okay, because most of the time when you have a 4 ohm amplifier that puts out, let's say, 70 watts, when you take it down to 2 ohm, it's usually going to put out, let's say, like 110 watts, which is a lot of power. Okay, so the other thing too is if you decide to buy amplifiers and bridge them to 2-channel, you have to really pay attention to the quality of the amplifier, because a lot of manufacturers that make inexpensive amplifiers will give you a 2 ohm rating, hoping to God that you never do that. Okay, because their amplifier isn't really stable at 2 ohms. They just do it because everybody does it. So you'd want to make sure if you are going to try to run it at 2 ohm, you buy a better quality amplifier, which means you might just want to go with a multi-channel amplifier at that point. Sometimes going with, let's say, a 2-channel and a 4-channel or 2 4-channels is a better move. I'm doing a full Morel hybrid and audio control system and the F35 or 3500 that I'm ordering next year. I want something better than Bose for the meantime. I totally understand, man. I totally understand. Well, okay, so why not get the audio control amplifier? Why not get the D61200 and get the only money you'd be losing is the I get it. Yeah, go ahead. Just do your thing. I'm making it complicated. Hi guys, Dean, did you get your mail? I did not check my mail today.
Really?
No, but it's Morel, so they're sending us something. But in the meantime,
well, if you don't know yet because you're busy or something, you should go to Morel_America here on Instagram and enter to win a nice white Morel shirt. I like it because it has the plume. It's a summer shirt. Yeah, so just go.
It's a summer shirt.
It's a summer shirt.
Great.
I like it.
I know, it's fine.
So anyways, just go, enter, and...
I ordered one for Haley. I didn't want it.
Really?
I didn't want it. I got it for Haley.
Dude, freaking cool.
I'm sure it is. It's
is
fantastic.
nice.
I think it's a beautiful shirt. But I think Haley likes it. Haley liked it more than I did, so I had Natasha send me the shirt for Haley.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I like it. That's cool.
I typically don't do white shirts.
Okay.
It's just me. You do.
Ooh, white, bro.
Yeah, that's why I don't do white shirts. You can't see me. It's like camouflage.
That's not how it goes, Anyway.
Okay. What are you, John Cena all of a sudden?
You can't see me, right?
Okay.
No,
yeah.
Anyway, go to Morel_America here to enter to win a nice, beautiful shirt. So just go do what they need, do what they ask you to do, and you're done. That's it.
Okay.
So Morel_America here on Instagram. Go to morelhifi.com to check some hybrids like the guy was talking about. What kind of speakers I should put in my car. Hybrids are amazing. Go to Facebook, Morel America Inc.
Sorry,
up, I'm trying to remember all these things.
You're just talking and talking and talking. Any suggestions for a 5-channel amp to power 6.5 components and a 6.5 in the back and 1 12-inch subwoofer? Really what you need is an 8-channel amplifier, not a 5-channel amplifier. Kind of like we were talking about just a second ago when we were talking about channel separation and level control. If you had an 8-channel amplifier, you could use 6 of the channels to power all of your speakers, tweeters, mid-bass, rear fill, and then bridge the 2 channels to go off to the 12. That's how we would address this. Now, if I was going to do a 5-channel, like you showed up with a 5-channel, the rears would probably stand whatever source they're powered off of right now, so that I could still go active tweeter, active mid, and sub, because those are the more important. Nothing sucks worse than buying a really nice set of components and then putting the same amount of power to them as you do to a crappy set of coaxials in the rear. It kind of sucks, right? It just drives me crazy. As far as 5 channels go, though, to answer the question, really depends on if you want something with DSP or not DSP. But everybody makes a 5-channel now. One of the most popular 5 channels that we've probably worked with in the past is the audio control, either the LC or the D5 1300. Plenty of power for a big size woofer. Affordable 5-channel amps like this one has the 802.5 from Kenwood, which is my personal favorite non-DSP amplifier, followed up by its brother, the 901.5. Both of those are plenty of power, a great price, no DSP, but we have a radio that we went with in here, and so for this car it works out. Now, if you want something like an 8-channel amplifier, that's where it gets fun. There's a bunch to choose from. Now, if you get into 8-channel, you're going to need DSP, though. So you're looking like an Arc Audio Blackbird, the Moscone 8 to 10, 1 8 to 10, which is the 1 series. If you want something without DSP but is an 8-channel, Sony makes the ES 8 channels. Kicker makes the Marine 8 channels. So there's a lot of stuff out there to choose from. And of course, Morel also makes a 5-channel amplifier that is quite unique in that it has a mono class D section and a stereo section is AB. So it's an ABD amplifier, which is pretty cool. Morel America, thank you for the shirt. I don't want to hear my passenger. Am I wrong? No, I don't even care about my passenger. They're just there to annoy me. I mean, it's really what it is. All I know is, like, every time we don't typically even listen to the radio. Like, if there's more than one of us in the car, not Fernando, he's gonna jam out and do crazy stuff. But just because it never fails, as soon as we turn on the radio when I'm driving with the girls, somebody starts talking and we gotta turn the radio down. So if we keep the radio off, none of us talk to one another. It's fantastic. Yes, Eduardo at Techno Express.
Yep.
Oh, apparently Christian is going to go work at Techno Express one day. That's his life goal.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I could see him being a salesman there. You know?
Salesman?
Yeah, I could see him being a salesman. He'd probably be a good salesman. I mean, he does that now. So he'd probably be okay at that.
Okay.
Well, it's Oscar. Buenos tardes, muchachos.
What up, bro?
I put the mid bass back in last night, and I forgot how. Dude, yeah, we know Christian. We all know what you put back in your car, bro. We all follow. We all see. It's okay. People make bad life choices, and they have to go back. It's all right. It's all right. I totally understand. Totally understand. Butter. Who doesn't like butter? Butter's great on bread. I think butter was made for bread. Seems like a waste at that point. Boom, boom, tick. I mean, it sounds like a song from Black Eyed Peas. I don't want to say who, but someone here is dropping off a Viper this week. Oh, they're finally getting the Viper done.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Don't let us down, Oscar. Don't let us down. You need to get Nando out. Dude, we got a lot of stuff we need to do for that car. That's where employees, demo cars help out during sales, 100%. I just don't want anybody sitting in my car. Oscar's Tesla helps a lot to sell. Of course it does, especially when they're undecided. You bring them up one side of the car or the other. So they want a black or a white car. We got them both. Hey, is Haley going to vacuum her car? Probably not. Probably not. We were just lucky to have her give us the car, let alone worry about... Like, dude, they were like, oh, Haley's car was dirty. Dude, if Haley heard you guys say that, she'd be like... And like, just totally like... she'd let you guys have it. I gotta be honest, I'd be with her. It's like, I'm not going out to vacuum my car right now. It's too hot. Hey, guys... If my Honda head unit rolls off base, can the equalizer and the Access DSP allow me to bring that back? I don't have an AccuBase device in my setup. So AccuBase is totally different than what you're asking about.
Equalizer.
So when you have a high pass filter in a car, that high pass filter is limiting the amount of sound frequencies that get out to the speakers. Acubase is designed for if the factory radio has loudness built into it, meaning the bass exists, but as you turn the volume up, it rolls off as loudness does. We do have a great video showing you how this works. I don't know what it's called because we make way too many videos. So what the question is you don't need Acubase. You need equalization. Now, as far as whether that piece of equipment can get you back up and running, I'm going to go with probably it'll do the job that you're looking for it to do because it does have sub-frequencies in it that you can adjust. The problem that you run into is that it is plus or minus 10 dB on the Access DSP. It's like plus or minus 10. And you have to be real careful with that because you need an electrical RTA for sure because you have to be able to see what you're adjusting on that signal. So acoustically it's going to do one thing, electrically it's going to be doing something different. The other thing too is depending on how much power you have for the subwoofer, because a lot of people just buy big amps for their subs, you might not have to worry about it too much, but you will have to worry about it. So I guess the answer to the question is yes, you should be okay. Late to the party, what are you doing in the RAM? Right now we're just sitting in the RAM. We just got done doing this nice little system inside of it that's comprised of an 802.5 underneath Fernando's seat there, some Alpine S-type 6x9 components in the front door. We have the Sony 4000 in it. We have a dash that doesn't exist, which is a lot of fun. We have some S-type 5 1/4 in the rear. And we have some P110s and a RAM box tucked up under there. We actually had this box in stock. One of the things that's cool about this box that we got the opportunity to do was develop one of our new speaker plugs. Don't ask if we're going to sell these because I don't know. Probably not. You could probably just go buy it from Sage at this point. But this is our new speaker plug that we made. We got the idea from Sounds Good Stereo out of Tennessee. Sage was telling me this is what he uses, and I was like, oh, heck yeah, that is the coolest thing. So it's got a little 5-star logo on it. You can't see. So this is just the first one we built just to see how it works. Uses the XC90 connector, which is really cool. It's surface mountable. That was the joy of this. That was actually the high point of this one. So please make a video for sales, how to pitch the customer for SQ setup, because sales come before installation. That's not a bad idea. If you caught Monday's show, we had a guest on that we talked about sales. So we had Dan, Titan Motoring. Yeah, none. Just hit a roadblock there in my brain. We've also had Jay Cook on from Columbus Car Stereo. These are professional sales guys, which is so hard to believe. But yeah, no, that would be a great question to ask one of these guys, to have them on and talk about pitching sound quality as opposed to SPL. That'd be a good idea. I like it a lot. I have my sales techniques. I just look at you and go, are you stupid? Really? Why would you want to do that? But then again, it also depends. One of the things that we ran into a lot in Atlantic City was that market there is saturated with a lot of louds. Everyone just wants loud, speaker by the pound. And these guys are like, I just want to stop building these things. And it's like, okay, I get it. Is it because they're cheap and they don't want to spend money on higher end product, or is it just you've all just kind of went down this path? Because I can tell you, if you put in a system with some K2s in there, or even some Flax, reasonable size, some Rockford T2s, and you let somebody hear that and how loud it is and how good it actually sounds compared to louds, you're like, holy wow, this might be a way to sell. But you have to be able to A/B between the two, you know, or be able to let them, if they've already heard something like that and you want them to hear something different, you know. But the problem always comes down to the same thing, is delivering on what the customer wants, right? So if he's got his heart set on that, it's going to be hard to change his mind. If he's of the mindset he really doesn't know, he's like, you know, my buddy has this. You go, okay, well, does your buddy not like sound? Does he not like mid-bass? I mean, I don't know. Later, everyone. Good day. Stinger amps are at 2. Okay, cool. Yeah, we know. We tested them all. How about 2 5-channels, 1 for each side, kosher? You can do one. I don't like the left side, right side 5-channel gimmick. I like 10 channels of audio, 2 for the subs, and then just because I know the amplifiers like it better when they have matched pairs left and right, I'm just going to divide it up that way. So yeah, you could still do that, but you know, 2 5-channels is fantastic. But we typically do it as sets, so 1 and 2, 3 and 4, maybe bridge. So done that with Sony. Okay. All right. Will deadening the OEM JBL sub box like you did in the Jeep speaker pod help if I put a higher quality shallow mount subwoofer in it? It will be ran off. Yeah. No, it won't. Will it help? Sure. Will it make a big difference? Will it make the difference you're hoping for? No, not really. Those plastic boxes for those. So, like, the plastic boxes, okay. The Jeep boxes, it helps because there's not a lot of power going on there. There's not a lot of movement. It's just to make it more rigid, and also the seams. It's glued together. We don't want it to blow itself apart. It's happened. So from that perspective, that is why we do that. Don't get me wrong. We've tried those boxes before. We've tried to put sound treatment on. It's just not enough. It sucks. You know, we were out at Mobile Solutions one of these times, and we were going back to the Jeep box that we made the most expensive grill for, and you know, we thought we had that box licked. We sound treated it, we put bracing in it, we did all kinds of stuff, and we didn't. You know, I felt good about that because I was like, we should build a new box. Like, no, we can get this one to work. And I was like, okay, fine. And dude, it's just like, oh, so we ended up building our new box while we were out there because we had nothing but time on our hands. So, anyways, if it holds an 8-inch, try to keep from cutting or removing panels. Yeah. Hertz or Audison, what? Hertz or Audison, what you like and why? It's the same company. It's both Electromedia. I like to describe the two products as Audison is, you know, champagne and cheese. You know, wine. It's very pinkies out. Whereas Hertz is more of a beer and pretzels kind of sound. Definitely more, you know, so they both sound great, but it's just, now as far as amplifiers go, I like DSP, therefore I'm going to go with the Audison amplifiers because I want DSPs. Not that you can't do standalone Hertz DSP, but I like the Audison DSP. Can you use a 5-channel kicker and can you use a 5-channel kicker for a 4-channel? I have a center speaker. I mean, no.
What kind of 5-channel? If the 5th channel is selected?
Like, if you're going to take a 6-channel and bridge it to a 5-channel and put it on the center channel, yeah. But a 4-channel, yeah, I don't know. In trying to choose speakers, should I go with Morel hybrids or AudioFrog GS60s, both 2-way active? Between a GS and a hybrid, I would go hybrid. Okay. What amp would you run with the Sony? Any amp you want. It's a set of preamps. It depends what you want to do. I have Hertz set up front components, rear coaxials, but on the amp there is a full high, low pass. Where should I kept the knob? Okay, so on an amplifier, when it says full, high, or low pass, the full range means there's no crossover on the amplifier being applied to the speakers. The high pass means that you are adding a high pass filter, meaning limiting the amount of bass that you get to the speaker. So for example, a door speaker would have a high pass filter on it. And then the low pass filter limits the amount of highs it's going to get. So that would be for the subwoofer. So in a standard configuration, if you had a multi-channel amp in the car, for the small speakers, it would be set to high. For the rear speakers, it would be set to high. And for the subwoofer, it would be set to low. If you have a DSP in there or something else that has crossover that you're using, then you would set it to full, because full would turn that off. And then you would adjust the knob corresponding to the type of speakers you use. If you're like, what? And you're just like, 80 hertz is a great place to start, both high and low. It's a nice, safe place to be. Okay. All right, I'm going to fast forward here. No, it's actually, I have more than one shirt the same color. So, and these all need to just go into the trash. So we'll be doing that shortly. Cobra Kai's new season. Oh, really? I haven't watched the first one. Happy Thursday, guys. Awesome for the win. Well, there you go. Hey, listen, guys, that's it for now. We got to get back to it. We got to get this car delivered, and we have more stuff to do. Today is Thursday, which means tonight, if you tune in to the Hi-Fi Vega Network over on the Hi-Fi Vega channel on YouTube, I'm there to talk about car stereo. And then stay tuned for after that. We're going to do a show that we call Side Jag, where we talk about movies, music, and food. Not so much music, just movies and food, really, is what it comes down to, and what's going on in life and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. We watched an awesome documentary this week that we're going to talk about. The other channel, we're going to talk about car stereo, so if you've never caught it, head over to the Hi-Fi Vega Network, and we're going to be talking tonight at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Pretty exciting. You got anything, Fernando?
Nothing.
Boom. You guys have a great day. See you.
Bye.